Hello, this is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Tuesday, the 22nd of September, 2015. Hope you're having a good trading week. Here's a look at the ES front month futures contract daily chart. We are still basically in this wedge that's been forming. The other thing that's troubling is and that's what's troubling, it's technical, but we are sitting right on the 50%. That's the purple 50% retracement line from the move down in August. So that's definition of middle of the wedge if I've ever seen one. Swept the highs last week and failed after the Fed. And even though volume was good today, we ended up fairly tame in terms of overall price action. Let's take a look. So the S&P closed up 8 in the end. There's the cash version of the S&P index. NASDAQ 100 up 12, which is a blip. It did sweep the lows of Friday after filling the gap. Initially, we were up. Stocks lost 2. That's a nothing to the stocks. Biotechs were down, though. 164 points. That's a bigger hit. And look where we ended up on the red static trend line once again to the point basically. VIX was down 2.14 to 2014. The trend closed at 1.06. You can see that moving average 10-day there moving back down, scooting near 1. Nasdaq volume closed almost at 1.9 billion shares, better than all of last week except for Friday's options expiration related volume that's usually meaningless. So at least we're getting back to better volume. Advanced decline ratio, negative 143 on the NASDAQ, but positive 602 on the New York. Very different story between the two. It's interesting that so many NASDAQ stocks more down than up, even though the market was up. Obviously the biotech's taking a hit. It doesn't really help. I will say, though, we did see some better trading action in terms of triggers that moved on a Baidu short today and whatnot. That's all representative of the fact that the volume was back up. You don't get moves like that last week off of a trade call like we had. Google gained 6. Remember, it has 13 sell signal back on Thursday. Apple, on the other hand, putting together a weak 13 buy signal on Monday, but so far on Friday, but so far bouncing off of that. So the signal is holding for that one. Amazon up 8, very near all-time highs there on that stock. Netflix down 232. I think if Netflix breaks that red line, the lows on those 2 days around that, we're just going to be in trouble. Crude oil closed the session at 45. That's the moving edge. 46.70 was the close on crude oil. All right, let's take a quick look at the intraday action in 5-minute candles. So a little gap up, flat for about 45 minutes, pushed up a little bit, and then flat for another 45 minutes. So you start heading into lunch, then you rolled, filled the gap. That was about it. You'll notice that there was a red static trend line that formed from the 9-bar count between Friday and Monday. Kind of was on bar 3 or 4 there at Friday's close. And that was the low of the day. And then on the curl back up, we got very near the green static trend line on the way back up. So here's the NASDAQ side. This one actually swept the lows of Friday in the move once it rolled over, and then still closed about the same. So what do we have tomorrow on Tuesday? FA Housing Price Index, the HPI. That's it. Nothing major. So that's not going to be what moves the market. But hopefully we'll have some good volume. Everybody's after the Fed. Don't have to be worried about what the Fed's going to do for a while. And that should make for a better trading environment. Obviously, that's what held us up last week. Frustrating to see that as much as it was. Should have been a better week, I think, last week. We had some good days. And actually, we had a high win percentage. We just had less trades than normal just because that volume was so low. But that's the goal. If the environment is not right, you need to be more selective and make sure that you have proper technical entries. So I think we won about 85-90% of our trades last week. That triggered with market directional support. And that's not normal, but it's great when you have a market that's very light on volume. Now volume's back, so hopefully we'll find more to do. And we'll be calling in the lab as usual. Charts brought to you by eSignal 12. If you do find these videos useful, please like them on YouTube. It does help us out. Have a great trading week.